It's not like we have the most powerful of software for video editing.
Does it smell like farm to you?
Yes. I've lost track of iPhones and which one started taking away ports and started sealing things off like some sort of eunuch. Wait, that's illegal. Hello. We're heading down to get food for lunch. Had some editing together. It happened when I was doing Star Trek stuff a while back, and I do gameplay videos. Sometimes the two video streams get a little out of sync while editing for something I don't know. It's not like we have the most powerful of software for video editing.
Does it smell like farm to you?
Yes, it smells like farm. Yes, I've been smelling it for the better part of the last week. In Hilversum, here, smelled it a little bit in Utrecht. It's just that time of year where all the hay's growing, the cows are out farming, and the fact that there's no real mountains blocking anything. So when you get a strong wind from the farming fields, which kind of are littered all throughout everywhere here, you tend to get a farm smell from everywhere. All right, so we took care of the garbage and made it here. We're heading to go get food at Donor Company, and then we're gonna head by a Tmobile store to check out about the Galaxy S10. No.
Yes.
Okay. Because they're close in number, I keep thinking, no, the 10's already out. People have been having it for years. No, it's the iPhone 10.
And that's been out for a year.
A year. Oh, so the AirPods have been in before the iPhone 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I've lost track of iPhones and which one started taking away ports and started sealing things off like some sort of eunuch. Yeah, hit on my thing. The skin on my shin is swollen enough that when I step down, it jiggles a little bit.
Oh.
And it's just that slight swollen.
Yeah.
And that's when I stepped off the curb and went, oh, because it went like... It makes you kind of wonder, like, do I have a giant, like, blister there full of fluid? But it's just, like, really heavy skin on a place where skin's not necessarily well supported.
Yeah.
Also, Aaron at Eindhoven asked someone about this whole, like, water district thing, since we haven't gotten any comments about it.
And it's basically just the people who are going to be making decisions about water.
But the thing is, to me, it's like, why is there such a big deal? One, water, but it's like, to where we're talking about is like the Tualatin Valley watershed, you know, and all that stuff, or Clark Public Utilities, where you pay your water bill.
Yeah. And
it's not that big a deal in the States.
But here, well, if we didn't have decent water groups, we wouldn't have a place to live because it'd be underwater.
Yes. And part of the thing that I think maybe the water district doesn't do, or does here, that doesn't do back in the States, because one is federal, one is city, is that this water district might deal with more like a physical watershed. Like the Lacamas watershed would have its council, and they deal with Lacamas Lake and all the tributaries that come down into it, as well as this water of Camas.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Whereas before it was like CPU, kind of really only dealt with the pipes and the sewage and stuff of Vancouver.
Yeah. But the Dutch Water Council stuff deals with not just how to get water to people, but how to make sure water is potable and make sure that, you know, you're not underwater.
You're not underwater. Kind of not a big deal for the hilly areas of Hilversum, but probably a big deal for Flavoland.
And here.
Flavoland much more.
Yeah.
As it is a most recent polder. Is a more recent polder than Frankendale? No, Frankendale's the park. I keep forgetting what the polder's actually called.
Yeah. Is it Mouterport the entrance to the polder?
No, Mouterport's...
Once you check in for the polder?
No.
Oh.
No, Mouterport it's a gate, is what Mouter Port actually is, and the gate, I think, was along a dike that allowed you to get into the city. I think so. Speaking of Mouter Port, we're actually going to the Mouter Port train station because we're heading down to ArenA to go get lunch and then head by that Tmobile store. Again, the thing's not out yet. We may not even...
Yeah, we probably won't walk away with anything physical, but pre-ordering.
All right, it's we're going out the other side of Bijlmer because we're going into the mall area. We just ate our capsalon. I think capsalon's a little bit better. I mean, Durham Doner's great on the go, but
Yeah.
capsalon is so much more filling because of the fries. So my Pokemon breakthrough quest thing, my weekly research quest, gave me a Regirock. Thank God it wasn't shiny, because I got a shiny Huo from the last one, and this time I was like, oh God, what am I gonna get? Because it's in March and nobody had actually released what any of them were. So I was like, oh, it's Regirock. Oh, that means that the other ones are gonna show up, and hopefully I'll get Registeel. As per next time, Aaron can get all three.
Yeah.
Because one of those quests I got Regice. Or one of the community days at the nature park I got Regice. And then I had a mild meltdown because we did Kylo Ogre and you didn't catch him. You didn't catch him that time either, and I did. And I was like, no, I don't deserve having more than you. I'm not gonna record inside the store. Although I will say that this is I think the last time we were coming through here was like dark and icky and gross.
Yeah.
Never actually been down here. Although I could definitely see if I were drunk, like super drunk, I would think, what am I doing at Joud? Like for some reason this gives me the hint of like coming out of Joud towards the center. I might, if there's actually I might get a coffee somewhere in there. I saw the Starbucks back there in the station, but I was like, nah. And I'm like, no, I do. I want something to drink. Like it's coffee, something warm. But yeah, we'll head by the Tmobile store, wherever that's at, and we'll figure out the phone thing. Tauschbesorgt bikes that aren't moving. They can still run you down. So apparently we're on the waiting list for the phones.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more quick and easy. And part of my issue with that is like, we're not necessarily with the greatest of language ease with a lot of people around here. So I hope that everything got put together correctly and emphasis in different areas.
What do you fear has happened?
I don't know. That's the thing. There's a language barrier and I'm not sure exactly 110% what happened. I'm about 99.999% sure what happened.
Okay.
But I'm not overly sure what happened. It's just my neuroses.
Gotcha.
We got food done. Got that done. They had the coffee in there, so that's what that was. I don't know what else we're doing today. I mean, obviously just getting prepared for game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we've been sitting here just sort of chilling, not really doing anything. Look at all the bikes. And we were actually talking about, because the Tmobile store asked us about like income and rent. And Aaron was explaining something to me that happened at the beginning of the year. We're not gonna really get into it here. And the Americans don't need to worry about it, and all the Dutch understand it.
Yeah.
So anyways, what we were just talking about is GDPR, and that there are news sites that seem to be right-wing biased in the States that have not allowed for GDPR. Like I cannot view their site.
Yeah.
And they give it, it's not even like, some of them give a weird error message. Other of them, like the LA Times, gives me a splash page that says, due to international rules, blah, 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 we are currently working on remedying a problem. But there was another news site that used to have a splash page like that, but is now says and redirects me to an international site. And I'm like, that's worse. Because not only are you not allowing international folks to see what you're telling the American people,
You have demonstrated that you are willing and able to implement the technology that would allow it.
Yeah, and now you are putting possibly, we're not saying they are doing this, but they're possibly putting select stories onto the international site.
Yeah.
And so that's what's worse, because
Yeah.
like with LA Times, it just says you cannot access this. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't see what you're telling the American people. Not, oh yeah, you can't see what we're telling the American people, but we're gonna tell you what you can see.
Yeah.
Makes me, Aaron did the meme of Master Chief. Wait, that's illegal. Yeah, probably. Oh, Metro coming in. We're in between the Metro lines right now. One there, one there. It feels awkward because we ate, it took us longer to eat than it did to do the T-Mobile store thing, and that
includes waiting in line at the T-Mobile store.
Yeah, that's what's weird, and I could not figure it out. That's what was bugging me most. What I just said earlier is that we spent like no time in the store, and it feels like there was one time I remember I got like tripped up on a bunch of stuff. Like it took, I guess because in the States it takes you a lot longer to say no to a lot of things. Specifically at like Best Buy, no, I don't want this. No, I don't want the protection plan. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want this. And you have to keep convincing them. Whereas if you just say yes, they sign you up for shit.
Yeah.
And
here they, as far as I can tell, I'm more than reasonably confident about this. They didn't sign us up for anything. They just said, okay, we'll get you phones, and then we'll figure out how to pay for it later.
This was also very different than us going in and walking out with phones that we've done at Best Buy before, or a giant television, or computer parts, or, okay, maybe not the video camera.
Yeah.
That was a simple, like, purchase. But anyways.
Yeah.
So we had Capsalon, probably gonna have another substantial-ish dinner, but we might go swing by either Dirk or Albertheim and figure out something to take home.
Yeah.
And do a fix 'em up for that.
Just
The Albertheim to go here is like meh.
Yeah.
I feel weirdly dehydrated. I'm not like weirdly dehydrated, I just want to keep drinking stuff. Like I had a coffee while I was there. I also had a Coke Zero while I was at Donor Company. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. It's not a thirst issue, I just want to keep drinking something, and I think an oral fixation's kicking in. So I was like eyeballing the Albertheim. I was like, maybe I can go in there and get something to drink. Get a big ol'
In Zero?
Yeah, but then again, I don't like drinking that on the thing, because we'll figure it out. I want to, maybe if I get like one of the little like protein smoothies or something like that, one of the, like the cocoa drink.
Yeah.
That might help, because it's a little bit more filling than just coffee and soda.